Hey there! You know what? The changes that are coming on the planet, on this Earth realm, are going to be amazing. New technologies, energy technologies, health technologies. So many good things are coming. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, because hang on, there's at least 17 changes that are going to blow your mind and make your life even better than it ever has been before. Wow! Hi there, Neil here, the Twisted Light Worker. Yeah, for sure. There's not a revolution taking place on the planet. There's an evolution. Mankind is raising consciousness to a new level, and all kinds of changes are taking place in order to have us make those leaps as humanity as a whole. I've studied ancient metaphysics and Toltec for some 45 years, and in the Toltec tradition, I've quite often used quotes from 𝓚𝓚𝓽𝓻𝓮 in my videos, and amazing, very deliberate writing with points to how the world is going to be changing, and from the inside out. And that means from the inside of each and every one of us. It's funny, when the Toltec tradition, they say that there's a dream of the world and the dream of the planet. And in the dream of the world is more of the ego. And the dream of the planet is where we are going collectively with humanity and our place in the cosmos, in the greater realms of things that we don't even know about. And that evolution is taking place right now. And there's some interesting things. I've got a list of 17 to share with you today that start with the basics. And one of the most important things that's going to really kick this whole thing off is getting rid of the evil on the planet and making our whole monetary system flipped right side up rather than upside down. So the first thing that's most important that's coming is going to be the gold-backed currencies. That's going to happen on a global basis. See, fiat money is what we've been operating on, and it's fake. It's made out of thin air, and there's no spiritual value to it whatsoever. It's just nothing. It's paper made out of thin air, and there's no backing to add substance to it so that it really does have a true intrinsic value. So in the dream of the world, the fiat worked out for the few who wanted to jump onto the system and milk it. And in the dream of the planet, it didn't work at all. And right now, with this conscious evolution, we are shifting to bridge the gap between the dream of the world and the dream of the planet. And there's going to be some changes. And the basis of it all that's going to make a big difference is the gold-backed currency. So gold-backed currency is going to make things more fair throughout the whole world. Why? Because gold they'll use a standard price for the precious metals. It'll be all other precious metals, silver and platinum and other things as well. But all of those will have the same price for every place on the planet. And that's where every country will develop their currencies based on that gold standard, which will be the same everywhere. So that makes trade fair and equitable, no matter where you are on the planet. It's exciting to see that as a potential, and that is powerful. The gold standard being the same everywhere. And I don't care if it's pesos or the yen or whatever. The rubies, who cares? The rubles, it doesn't matter. If it's all based on the gold standard, it's going to make trade absolutely fair and reasonable everywhere. And that is exciting, because that brings in the dream of the planet. So it's not just the individuals going to capitalize and milk a system anymore. It can't be that way. It's upside down, and we're turning it right side up. One of the first things is going to be when they bring it in, and they're calling it 𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚, and I don't care if it's real or not real. The concept is real, and it's up to us to bring it in. So yes, it's real. The concept is real. So watch it come in. There'll be no more personal income tax. When we go to work, we get to keep the money that we earned. And that is going to make such a big difference. It'll make a difference right down to the families. We'll maybe be able to return to a one-income family, being able to support a family and still have money to save to go on a vacation and things of that nature. When the evil ones divide and conquer, they manipulated everything, and the income tax was used to divide and conquer, get the women going back to work. That was, once again, to divide and conquer and destroy the family unit. So personal income tax, no personal income tax is going to make such a big difference. Will there be taxes? Absolutely, for certain there will be, because there's still going to be public things that need to be funded somehow. And it's not that difficult to imagine how that could be with a value-added tax on goods and services that are frivolous, that we don't really need. Anything that we absolutely need for basic necessities can be covered with just the VAT, value-added tax, or GST, depending on where you live, what you call it. It's all the same thing. So that's going to make a huge difference as to what the family gets to keep, and people can still manage to make some exciting changes in their lives and make plans. Education, savings, and things of that nature will all be part of that. The healthcare industry is going to make a huge transformation. Big Pharma has manipulated and controlled for way too long, and they are ruthless at it. And the whole pandemic that we went through, those of us who were awake, we realized what the pandemic really did. It opened our eyes to how much evil is done through the healthcare system. And that's going to be totally taken down and replaced with something that is necessary. Sure, we're still going to need doctors. We're still going to need to have people who know how to put a bone back into place and things of that nature. But new technologies using energy, frequency, and vibration are going to be taking over. And the health industry is going to make a huge merging with the tech. Light, sound, all of those things are vibrations and frequencies. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Tesla was so right when he said that when you think of the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Because they're all going to be part of the healing that's going to be coming out. Medbed technology, light technology, sound technology. All of those technologies have been suppressed. They're there. We have them. They've just been suppressed. And the health care industry, Big Pharma, kaboom. They deserve to go, and they're on their way out. And that's going to make a whole evolution of consciousness, because people will no longer be dependent on drugs that do nothing but create more problems. They band-aid solution, and they create more problems. So the healthcare industry, the way they've controlled that whole mess was disgusting and evil. Absolutely evil. But the good things are coming, and that is so exciting. We're also going to return more to natural health. We're going to reactivate and reestablish the value of herbs and things of that nature that have been part of the healing for centuries. We're once again going to realize that the creative source, God, whatever you wish to call him, every illness that's on the planet, there's a plant that can assist in the healing of it. And so natural health, the Big Pharma tried to suppress it, made it difficult. That's all going to be changed, and natural health is going to come back with a with a vengeance, and they're going to reestablish the value of what God's creation is in this Garden of Eden, that we, the humanity as a whole, in the dream of the planet, we will create heaven on earth. And that's the evolution of consciousness that's taking place. It's absolutely remarkable and exciting. Food quality will be assured. No more going and having to read the labels to see what's in there. Oh, what's in there is going to be on labels all right, but we will know that only good things for humanity's diet will be put in there. No more of this crazy crap that's been fed to us and dumbed us down, numbed us down, and destroyed our connection to the universal consciousness, because what it's done, so many of the chemicals and additives to the food sources have eliminated our connection to the divinity that's inside each and every one of our cells. And when we get rid of that and no longer are numbed down because of those additives, we're going to have our consciousness lifted, and the food quality is going to be remarkable. When you buy cinnamon, it'll be actual true cinnamon, and it won't be a fake cinnamon, as an example. There's so many things that are coming, that this whole great awakening, this evolution of consciousness, we are truly remarkable, multidimensional beings, and we're going to reconnect with that divinity that's inside of us. It's phenomenal the way the world is going to be transformed with the awakening and the evolution of consciousness that's taking place, and evidence of that is everywhere. And education is going to make a huge transformation. Part of the deliberate dumbing down of America, of the world. I learned about that in the 90s when I read a book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. And that's when I started going down rabbit holes looking for the truth in the conspiracy theories, to really learn what the hell was really going on in this planet, in this earth realm. Education. We've been deliberately taken down so that we no longer have common sense. We no longer know how to observe. Observe, number one. Observation skills on this planet, and the way the humanity's been shut down and controlled, we've lost our observation skills. And you have to have that first, because then you can have critical thinking. Without observation skills, we don't have a reason to have any critical thinking, do we? Think about that. We have to learn how to see what's going on, and we have to be open-minded to pay attention to what's going on around us in a big way, not just in a little way, in a big way. It's exciting to see that the education system is going to be revamped completely. We're not only going to have observation skills and critical thinking skills, but the beauty of it all is each and every one of us, we are divine souls. We're not just in this meat suit. We are much more than a meat suit. We are divine beings, and our divinity is housed in this body we call our body, this meat suit. And every single cell of our body has a divine connection to source. And that's all going to be brought out in our education, so that wisdom will become important. Common sense will become important. And people will be able to study what they're interested in. Because all of us, as soul personalities, we come into this world with natural tendencies to do, or to be, or to learn, or to accomplish certain things. And therefore, the education system has to be flexible to adapt to each individual, because each individual has their own agenda for this life that we live in, this 3D world that we call this earth plane. It's exciting because the education system is going to awaken all kinds of possibilities that we've been numbed down and dumbed down and avoided learning about. And that's all going to be transformed. And it's totally, in my mind, is one of the more exciting things. I, for one, totally believe in the youth. The youth today, they know that the world is all messed up. And when they start to see the changes that are coming, you watch. They're going to be excited because they can participate in making this planet, this whole earth realm, or whatever shape substance it actually is. It's all energy, frequency, and vibration. And our education system is going to open doors that are going to just transform this world in amazing ways. It's truly an evolution of consciousness. It's got nothing to do with revolutions whatsoever. It's an evolution of consciousness, and education system is going to be very much instrumental in putting this all together and making it happen. It's exciting. It's exciting. History, the true history. The true history has been kept from us. Anybody who's done some homework will realize that Tartaria was real, and the mudslides were real. And all of that's going to come out and change the course of humanity, because we're going to start to realize who we really are, how long we've been on the planet, and what we've been doing, and what has been done to us, the evil ones. And they're now being taken off the planet so our consciousness can become more of the divine. And his story is going to come out to be truth. The real truth of what's going on is going to be ascertained with all kinds of digs, some of them that have been exposed, but they haven't been researched and completely researched. And that's history is going to be exciting the way it's going to develop and come forth. Energy creation. Whew. Now there's a topic that is really exciting. Magnets. You think about a magnet. A magnet, once it's made, the power is eternally there. Yeah. So there are people working on and developing motors that run from the push and the pull of the magnets. And the technology has been in research for a long time, and it's coming forth. And that means a magnetic motor can be running from the magnetic power of the North and the South Pole and the way they push and pull. It's all 0-point energy, because the North and the South Pole, they're not really attracted to each other like we think. They're attracted to the 0 point in the middle between the North and the South Pole. That's 0-point energy, and that's coming out. And so a magnetic run motor can drive an electrical generator, was once again, it's magnets and electricity is created with that spinning of the coil. So a magnetic motor will run a generator, and that can be buried in your backyard and produce enough power to run your household. That technology is right on the cusp of being revealed, because there's more than one place that they're working on it, and that's been under wraps and under patent that's been held back from humanity for a long time. That's only one aspect of energy creation. Oh, what will happen? You build that motor run by magnets, bury it in the backyard, and it's running a generator in the backyard. Every 15 years, you pull it up, change the bearings, put it back down. Amazing. Now that is an absolute fact and a reality, and it's about to be revealed globally, and that's coming up. Tesla was working on taking power from the ether, right from the ether around us, energy, frequency, and vibration. A lot of it goes back to what the ancient metaphysics taught. I've studied ancient metaphysics and Toltec, like I've said, for 45 years. And all of that is rooted in source. Rooted in source. And the power of source, the power of God, is inside each and every single cell of your body. That's how your body runs. It's all energy creation. It's amazing. It's ineffable. Ineffable is the best word. I love that word. It's no way you can describe what we really are in the divinity of things. Ground travel is going to change because of the way the energy frequency and vibrations are going to be developed into technologies. We're going to be able to travel at a much lesser cost. Imagine that. They're also running on water, where electrolysis of water turns the H2O into hydrogen and oxygen. And so they burn it, and the exhaust is nothing but steam. It's water. That technology is coming. So ground travel is going to change. Air travel will naturally change accordingly. And I know of a fellow that I met way back in the, I guess it would be the late 80s. Early 80s. And he was developing a blimp, believe it or not. And it ran on helium, and he had the technology where helium could be moved from a gas back into a liquid. And when it's a liquid, it's not lighter than air. It weighs down. And he was developing a blimp that would be lighter from the helium and lift it up. Massless objects. Those are technologies that are going to be coming too. Like, it's unending, the beautiful things that are coming. And that's going to make air travel and things of that nature different as well. Right now, there's a huge race to develop AI. And you can do a YouTube search for people who have experimented to use different AI-driven technology or created technology. And one video I found where a fellow had tested 2,200 different AI technology programs, that AI created programs that could be used in marketing and sales. And I signed up in a company called Onpassive. Now, Onpassive is AI driven, and people are afraid of AI. No. Be afraid of the bad guys' use of it. Good AI is going to be something that we can all benefit from. And Onpassive is on that track. They're working on good AI. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But right now, the technologies on the planet are moving in a way to help humanity and help us in ways that are beyond our current comprehension. And only the few people working on it are aware of what's going on. And it's fascinating to watch. Communication. Communication is going to be another one that's big. That's one of the things that Onpassive is working on. They have a webinar platform that's superior to anything that's out there. Definitely superior. Better video quality and some unique tools that are specific to no one else. No one else has them. Not to the level that Onpassive has it. And they have not even launched their updated version of it. And I'm using an earlier version of it. 𝓚, you call it. 𝓚, compared to Zoom, I guess you could say, but it blows Zoom right out of the water. So I don't even like to say it's webinars anymore because they're web events. They're web events. And they are created by technology that's AI driven. And it's really powerful, the things that they already have, and their new launches just around the corner. And imagine this, having a webinar conversation with somebody in another country. They're speaking in their language, and you're either hearing it or reading it in your own language. That is one of the things that Onpassive is working on. And I'm not sure if it's going to come out in the next release or one that's going to be released later on. But the technology is being developed. Fascinating things happening. Q phones. People are talking about Q phones. Tapped into space, the star satellites, and everybody will have free cell, free internet coming through that. Free internet coming through that. So the internet's going to make an about change completely. And the .com, who knows where it's going to go. But it all ties in back into healthcare, ties back into education. It ties back into learning what the true history of humanity is all about. All of that is tied in. And AI-driven technologies will help with our ground and air travel. And the internet is going to be something that it's mind-blowing. It's already mind-blowing to where it was when it first came out. I remember tapping into bulletin boards before the internet was even around, where you could phone somebody who was hosting a bunch of free software you could download. You phone his phone through your phone, through the computer, and download from there. They called them bulletin boards. Well, then we went from the bulletin boards to the World Wide Web, and it's been constantly going and developing and advancing even more. And the best part, think about it, all of these things are used by energy, frequency, and vibration, which is what we are. And that's going back to what I said earlier. We are in an evolution of consciousness. You think that this is all just all physical stuff. No, 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 no. It goes deeper. It goes much deeper. So that means we're going to have less government and more community focus. And this I get really excited about, because big government has been the controlling evil over humanity for way too long. Individual powers, we need to have our own connection to divine source and remain as sovereign people, and going back to you don't do any kind of harm to anyone else. That's God's laws. We're going to get rid of all of the crazy crap that the government has pushed down our throats. It's all nonsense. They tried to make us believe that we need it. We don't. We need each other and some common sense, ability to observe, and being willing to reach out and give a helping hand to those in need. People think that the taxes, and we'll go back to that, people think that the taxes that they pay is going out to welfare. No, it isn't. Not at all. Because every dime given to the people who are on disability or on welfare, every dime of that is circulated back into the world, into the communities. Every dime of it. They spend it all. The taxes are going to pay the interest to the fake fiat money, and goes right back to why the gold standard is much more important. So government is going to be reduced to ridiculously small. We don't need government. We just need to have local governing public requirements met. Maybe the roads and healthcare and education will all tie into some of the things that is done on a publicly funded basis. That's how come just a VAT tax is going to be more than enough. Think about it. It's exciting where we're going. It's all an evolution of consciousness, where we once again realize that each and every one of us are part of creative source. Each and every one of us have creative source inside of every single cell of our body. Creative source, or God, or whatever you want to call it, energy, frequency, and vibration is in every feather on every bird, on every grain of sand, on every beach, in every cell of your body. I won't go into that any further, but I could talk for hours on that. All of this is going to bring a melding of cooperation between businesses. Competition is very, very, very good. Healthy competition is excellent. It continues to advance our technology skills and the things that we as men and women can create, and different ways of serving each other. So healthy competition is really good, but the control over others has to stop. That's not healthy competition, and that's what we've got into, and it's all been because of the evil ones divide and conquer, and they took it all for themselves. But we're going to meld competition with cooperation, because we realize that if I develop a product and somebody else develops a component for my product that's better than what I got, it's smart for me to form an allegiance with it. And all the people who are working for me, I wouldn't be able to have a company if it wasn't for them. So there's going to be different kinds of profit sharing and things of that nature that is going to make having a job not as much of it won't be a necessity. It'll be something that we'll want to do because we'll want to be part of creating this world and to making it a much better place. And so we're going to definitely be melding cooperation with competition. They're both required. Competition in itself can be extremely evil. But cooperative competition, now we're talking. Now we're talking amazing, amazing things. So that's 16 things that we've come up so far. But here is the one that I believe is the most important. We're returning to the sacred. I alluded to it throughout this whole talk. My 45 years of studying metaphysics, Toltec, and various other spiritual courses that I've spent over 30,000 on courses of that nature. And I do workshops on that. I'm in the process of developing an online video download for it. And I'm going to keep it affordable because some of the people that are doing the workshops are astronomical in prices. I've paid those astronomical prices to learn some of the things that I have learned over the years. And what I want to do is make it reasonable price, keep it simple, keep it basic, so that everybody has an opportunity to it. Rather than have one person pay me $1,000 for the course, I'd rather have 10 people pay me $100. Who's going to make the most benefit to the world? The one who's charging $1,000 for the same information, or the one who's charging $100 and gets 10 people learning from it? That's the direction. We're returning back to the sacred. Now, the sacred is fascinating. So let's look at the sacred versus secret, and how that has transformed the way the evil ones took over the planet. I'm going to give you an interesting physical diagram of what I mean by that. And it goes back to what I said, that everything has been upside down. If we have the Star of David, people get all freaked out by that symbol because they've seen the evil side of it. I'm going to share with you the positive side of it. There we have the triangle with God at the top, the atoms and molecules at the bottom. That's kind of what we are. God created our physical bodies, and the atoms and molecules brought together with magnetism. They come together, and that is who we are as man, our physical body. The other triangle with spirit and soul at the top. God created all of these things because God remains at the top. God created our spirit. And the spirit is different than the soul. Going into Toltec, you'll want to wake up the warrior spirit that's inside you. Our soul personality is the gifts that we've been given through our experience as a soul, as a divine entity, our energetic self. And we brought them down into our bodies, and God gave us the ego. And that is what we want to overcome. So that is the metaphysical way of looking at the Star of David in the positive light. What did the evil ones do? The evil ones turned it upside down, didn't they? They got our ego at the top. And they think they're the ones that can play the role of God. And so what they've done is they're using AI and things of that nature in the evil way in order to manipulate and control humanity. So you can see by this, it's a demonstration of what I mean by everything was upside down. The evil ones flipped it. They flipped what was right, and they've made it an absolute curse. And they're the ones that are paying for that now. And now that we're turning it back to this, our divinity is going to be much more shared and much more respected, and God's coming back into our lives. And so we are returning to the sacred. We're returning to the sacred. And that is so exciting. I could go on for hours on this topic, but I'm going to carry on because this video is all inclusive of a number of things. So, awakening is a belief-shattering, confusing journey that rips you apart, leaving you face to face with your authentic self. Clarity of who you really are is resulting ever expanding glory. So think about that statement and what I just showed you here. We are. This symbol is who we are. God come into each and every one of ourselves and brought us together, and that's our physical self. He brought our spiritual self and our soul personality together and brought that and put it in, manifest into the world and manifested in our physical being. The 100 trillion cells that you have in your body. So, awakening is a belief-shattering, confusing journey that rips you apart, leaving you face to face with your authentic self. Clarity of who you really are is a resulting, forever expanding glory. That's my quote, and I hope that you take that and really put it to heart. This is one from Mark Cloudfoot Gershon, and it goes back into what I shared with you earlier, the dream of the world and the dream of the planet. Two different things. Now, think about what I said, how both of those are being bridged together. Our consciousness is evolving. So here's the quote. It says, "There is much catching up to do in the dream of existence. The physical body is trying to catch up to the soul. Perception is trying to catch up with awareness. Intention is trying to catch up with intent. The dream of the world is trying to catch up to the dream of the planet. This is called evolution. To those that know there is this process of catching up, the challenge of the obstacle is not so daunting. But most do not even know. Most do not even know." And that's what this video is all about. And that's what my workshops is all about. I do Thrivalism Thursday, every Thursday. And what we do is we cover personal growth, metaphysics and Toltec and inspiration, because I've spent 35, 45 years at that and over $30,000 on courses of that. I share a little bit of that for free on Thrivalism Thursdays. But the most important thing is we get into active steps that we can do. Active steps that we can do to make this world a better place. To make this world a better place. To become all that we can become. To evolve into the spiritual beings that we really are. Magical. Magical spiritual beings that we really are. So returning to the sacred is a very, very, very powerful part of the process. Because when we return to the sacred, we're careful what we do to each other. And when we embody our warrior spirit and our soul personality, and we put them over above the ego, which is the way God intended it, we start to realize that our brothers and sisters, our fellow human beings, our men and women on the planet all around us, they have that same divinity inside them. That's how come we are all part of the one big unity. That's where we come from. It's one big sea of unlimited potential, energy, frequency, and vibration. And consciousness is throughout all of it. It's consciousness that holds that consciousness is the point source, 0 point energy. Consciousness is the center that brings everything together. Consciousness is in every single cell of your body, holding your body together, holding each cell together. It's consciousness that's holding together the leaves on the trees, the feathers on the birds. All of this is evolution. and where we are going as humanity, I could go on for a long time. But this video is already long enough. I want to take a minute now and, with gratitude, thank the people who have saw the value of my work and they've bought me a coffee. It hasn't amounted to diddly squat for money, really. In 3 years of making videos, I've not even hit $600 in coffee money. And so that's why I ask for donations, because I believe that I give something of value and I'm worthy of it. And I have a huge gratitude in my heart for those people who have taken it upon themselves to send me $3 for a coffee or buy me 10. So thank you to all those who have bought me coffee. And I encourage you to check out Onpassive. I could go on for a whole video on talking about Onpassive, but the potential for income there is that I'm not sharing that for my own personal use only. I want you, if you have a desire to have some extra income, the affiliate part of Onpassive is very possibly what you're looking for. Join for free Onpassive and come participate in my Thrivalism Thursdays. All you have to do is sign up to Onpassive once. It's kind of like downloading an app once. And then whenever there's a link to somebody that's running a web event through 𝓚𝓾𝓻𝓮, all you have to do is click the attendee link just before the web event begins, just like Zoom, just like the competition. And you can join for free then. And so you sign up Onpassive once, and then you can attend all of the meetings just by clicking the attendee link. You'll have to log in, but you can attend the web event through your browser, all for free. Of course, those who are doing a webinar and they're charging for the webinar, they won't send you the attendee link until they get paid. So, but I do Thrivalism Thursday for free because I believe in sharing some of the knowledge and wisdom that I've gained from my 45 plus years of studying Toltec and metaphysics and various spiritual courses. So I share that. And then we talk about things that we can do in our local communities to improve the difference. I'll give you a link down below on one of the meetings where I had our local founder of our community association, our Community Support Alliance, the CSA that I told you that I belong to. I'll give you a link to a talk where Joe, the founder of CSA, comes to a Thrivalism Thursday, along with Bruce Poppy, who's out on the road doing the Truth Tour with 𝓚𝓗𝓻𝓗𝓚. So bottom line is, I'm here to help. I'm here to uplift. And I hope the ideas that presented in this video, the 17 ideas of things that are coming for change, hope they get you excited, because I want to wake up the lion in you. I want you to stand in your own power. I want you to do more than you ever thought possible and play your part in a major way of making this heaven on earth. And that is where we are going. So I end all my videos with the same message, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, right to the core of who I really am. I wish you and yours peace profound. I wish you and yours peace profound.